ExpoFest judges offer students a chance to interact with a prestigious group of men and women from academia and industry.
For me, Expo is something very special. This is my 12th year involved, 11th year in a row judging. You've done some testing and it actually is more efficient than a flat panel?
It increases efficiency by 15%.
Yeah, we've done extensive experimentation about that.
Many of the judges work at the intersection of business and science and have tips for students to succeed in connecting STEM learning to the real world.
What I would recommend for teachers and students is to really think like scientists, but also a little bit as entrepreneurs.
And the best part about these suits is once they're crystallized, if you boil it, you can reuse them.
Why is this problem important? Why do you want to study it? Why should you care about this particular problem?
You know, it's a really cool idea, but I'd love to see them think a little bit more about the bigger picture in terms of what would be some of the marketing challenges. You know, how would I test it scientifically? How would I build a prototype? You know, these are all things that, as a judge, we ask those questions. So if students can be thinking about those in advance, that would be a great thing.
Students are very ambitious and they try to come up with very complex and complicated projects, which is a great thing, but also within the limited time frame, I would say scale back and think what's really manageable and what do you have resources and expertise in. I would suggest you want to be complex, you don't want to be complicated.
When I'm looking at young entrepreneurs around the state who are coming up, I'm looking at how their product that they're conceiving will fit in the societal system. That's what I'm looking for. In a corporate world, we call it EHS, environment, health and safety. So that kind of an engagement is what I would like to see in addition to the project. Ethics means when working, did they end up with certain dilemma? Should I do this? Should I not do this? I'm realizing what I'm doing may not be good for environment. Am I snubbing it? Or am I willing to expose it and say, this is a problem I'm yet to solve. I don't know how to recycle this. I don't know how to handle this hazardous material, right? But I like this, I'm working on this, and I still have these issues. I want to see how they handle that situation. Because nothing is black or white. It's all gray, and I want students to learn that aspect as well.
What can give your Expo project an edge with the judges?
I would say a misconception might be that you don't necessarily have to get everything up on your site right away. The judges do take the time, right? They want to be well prepared. So I would say make sure that what you have on your site, is you've proofread it very well. It's very professional, and then you get it up there in time for the judges to be able to take a look at it.
Basically, we are living in a world full of technology and innovation, but there is not a lot of sustainability yet in it. I would encourage just embracing sustainability and having that as a part of innovation to start with. So when you're developing a better ways of collecting energy, why not include a sustainability component to it? When you're developing marketing materials, why not ensure that you're using material from renewable resources? Ensuring that sustainability is included, I think this is the best approach.
Again and again, the judges emphasize that a successful ExpoFest project is more than a good idea.
You need to make sure that every person on the team is engaged. You don't need to be the best programmer, you don't need to be the best essay writer, you don't need to be the best spokesperson, but everyone has a role. And it really is getting everyone on your team engaged. For me, it's the teaming. I was really pleased with the teamwork. Everyone seemed to have a meaningful role, everyone seemed to enjoy it. The team seemed engaged. It wasn't one person speaking with others in the corner. So for me, it was the level of teamwork and engagement that impressed me as much as the topics themselves. And then the next thing I look for is passion. I want somebody who is excited to be there, and I'm equally as excited to help them in whatever they want to do.
Find out what your passion is and follow that. Find out people who can mentor you on the path you want to go to, and they've already followed that path, so you have the right guidance. Be prepared that you will not necessarily succeed the very first time. You will have to do it second time, third time, fourth time around. There will be lots of setbacks. do accept that you will not know everything, you will not have all the skills. So do count on your friends, family, and mentors who will educate you. Build a team around you and stay at it. Because if you are passionate, you will succeed. Your intention is good, the direction you are taking is good, but I'm not sure about the solution you have come up with. So I would like for you to look at that and see whether does it make sense.
And judges want to see the learning process. How did your project get to this point? Successes, failures, and the extra mile you went to bring it to Expo Fest.
Every project has to have a hiccup. If they never had a hiccup, they were not stretching themselves, they were not doing what they really wanted to do, they just did something simple. You work on it for 9 months and you say everything went smoothly, nothing failed, you were probably just making pizza.
We as scientists devote years of working on a specific project, and there is always something new that comes up, something interesting or something that doesn't work. And I would recommend to devoting more time than you initially think, because experiments never work in a first run. So spend probably twice as long. If you consider that your experiment is going to take 2 weeks, plan for 4. That's the rule of thumb.
Your project doesn't have to be perfect, but just set priorities in terms of what it is that you want to get done.
Our purpose is about something much greater than that. Strengthening relationships.
The other thing I always tell students is be confident about things. You know, if things didn't work out exactly the way you expected it, that's science, that's engineering. Maybe you changed your design midway through. You know, don't apologize for that. I mean, I think be confident again about your approach.
I'm curious what strategic changes you made, either in design or presentation, from April 29th to today.
While testing, we deduced the problem, which was that our hoist design's current placement was not providing enough stability. So we moved it from 108 inches from the nose of the courser to 95.9 inches from the nose of the courser in order to get it closer to the center of gravity and satisfy the state of equilibrium.
What did you have most difficulty with? I mean, what was maybe the scariest part of the whole process?
Actually, when we were trying to figure out which airports we would use, as you can see, there are a bunch of zeros. We weren't able to get a lot of information. It was a little bit annoying sometimes to call them and they would hang up on us.
You called the locations.
We wanted to make sure that the information we put out is accurate.
Oh, wow.
So,
to validate.
Yeah, and we were very persistent with them, so all our information with our materials is very accurate. Yeah.
Wow.
At the end of the day, engaging with judges will be one of the most rewarding experiences of Expo Fest for students, teachers, and the judges themselves.
How do we find good jobs for our kids? How do we grow interest in STEM education? This really is our future, and I could not be more excited to be a part of it.